The Student Room has joined forces with Sport Relief to discuss mental health and get people active. As part of our campaign with Sport Relief, Stephen Fry agreed to come on the Student Room and answer some of our community's questions about mental health and well-being. Here are some of his pearls of wisdom.
I would say, talk to your friends. You know, one of the glories of being young is that you do spend more time speaking to friends than we do at our age. You know, we're just sort of so tired after a day's work, or we're so bored with each other's company. We just sit down and slob in front of Pointless or a football match or something. And young people do actually talk more, whether it's while you're listening to music or while you're sitting and drinking, something, coffee or a glass of wine or beer or whatever. Just share how you feel. And the more you can present how you feel without sort of too much embarrassment or shame, the more you'll give permission to your friends to hear it without embarrassment or pity. Because you don't want to be pitied, you just want to express something that's part of who you are and how you live, and for them to know about it. And I think it does take a weight off you. It feels like a stone rolling away. It's a kind of bit like a coming out in a sort of way, and just as coming out as in a sexual way is not an admission or confession. It's just a description that lets people know something about you. And so it is with mental health. It's nothing to admit or confess. It's not a dark secret. And to have people who know that and can trust, and you can trust, is a good thing. It helps, I think. I think schools can do a lot. I mean, it always shocks me whenever I read a story of bullying, because I think surely that's been sorted out by now. Surely by now schools have in place enough, systems to stop anybody bullying. And surely it's just not part of what's socially acceptable to children anymore. If some child started to bully another, surely all the others would turn and stare at them and go, What are you doing? No one does that. But unfortunately, that isn't the case, is it? There are still vulnerable people and there are still bullies. And mental health, I guess, is one of those areas where people are afraid, because if some nasty spirit hears, then that's a way they can bully them. Obviously, the teachers have a lot to do with it. And the chances are in any larger school, there will be a teacher who has a mental health issue. And maybe if they are brave enough to talk about their mental health issue, or the mental health issue of their partner or husband or wife or whoever it might be, with their permission, obviously, to bring people into the school. People like me, I do quite a lot of talking at schools, and just to say, yeah, go on, laugh at me. Yeah, I have a mental health problem. No, it's let's find other things to laugh at. Well, I mean, music is a big one for me. It's a stressful day is something that is almost by definition is a day that lives with you once you get back home, isn't it? You can't shake it off. You can't take it off like an overcoat. It somehow stays with you. Because I don't now reach for a glass of wine or anything as I used to, I think it's just talking and laughing and relaxing and just doing silly things. And I really value things that are of no particular importance, like it could be a jigsaw or I've just discovered, at my age, can you believe it's embarrassing? I've just discovered that you can actually more or less play a video game without having to shoot people. You just go through the cut scenes of it. It's like watching a really long film. And so I've been watching Uncharted, for example. And it's so silly. And it's so unlike me, because I've never been one for those things. So I just think something trivial, something, because, Chesterton, he was a writer, he said, angels can fly because they take themselves lightly. And I think one of the secrets in life is not to take oneself too seriously. Even if one's feeling something bad, you can kind of kid yourself that you're not, maybe for a little while, by doing something trivial. Well, I think you must try and see someone who can help you, and someone who's in a position to give really good advice. And the most obvious thing there is something, a doctor. your GP or it's difficult if you're young because you can't usually organise an appointment to see a doctor without going through your parents or through the school. But if you can, if your school probably has someone who's what's called pastoral care, whose job is to help with happiness and well-being and making sure that people aren't in a bad place emotionally, aside from the work and all the other things you do at school. And the same at universities, there'll be someone, anything between a chaplain and a student representative and someone who's there as a welfare and happiness and mindfulness and other such things. And the great thing is now that there are resources where you can, search these things out before you make a move that you might feel anxious about. But trust is so important. And if you have someone you trust, that you can say, I've got this feeling and this problem and it's stopping me from concentrating, from working, from being my best, then the old cliche, a problem shared is a problem halved. It does again make that weight fall off you if you've shared it with someone you trust.